7 months.
And Nancy Pelosi wants an apology. This after the House Speaker was caught on cam getting her hair fixed in a closed salon and walking around without a mask. Critics called it the height of hypocrisy. You know, do as I say, not as I do. But Pelosi says the salon should say sorry for setting her up. She was supposed to have her weekly news conference last hour, but just a couple of hours before starting, it was canceled without explanation. And Claudia Cowan has the news. She's live for us in San Francisco. Claudia.
Hi, Trace. Well, the blow-up has taken yet a new twist, with Nancy Pelosi's freelance hairstylist supporting her claim that the video leak was a setup, while the owner of this hair salon behind me is refusing to apologize for anything, and she continues to slam Nancy Pelosi. This is Erica Cayuse, you see here on the screen. She said she was tired of the speaker coming into her salon repeatedly when no one else could because of lockdown orders that have been economically devastating. Cayuse says she released the surveillance tape because she feels like small businesses, especially salons, have been abandoned by elected officials, including the third most powerful person in government, who has lectured others on the importance of wearing masks and staying home.
Look at your people in your neighborhood, in your city, that have worked their lives to build what they have.
Pelosi is doing damage control, claiming she was told the salon could accommodate one client at a time.
As it turns out, it was a setup, so I take responsibility for falling for a setup. This salon owes me an apology.
And the man seen following Pelosi in the video agrees. In a statement, Jonathan DiNardo says stylists have been encouraged to operate in defiance of shutdown orders for months, and that when he told Cayuse about the booking Sunday night, the salon owner made, quote, vitriolic and incendiary comments about Speaker Pelosi before eventually allowing the appointment to happen. DiNardo says now, given a review of her political leanings, it appears Ms. Cayuse is furthering a setup of Speaker Pelosi for her own vain aspirations, end quote. So a lot of finger pointing here and backlash growing not just against Nancy Pelosi, who has represented San Francisco for more than 3 decades, but also against Erica Cayuse. The longtime salon owner says she has been getting hate mail and death threats, and she's had enough of San Francisco. Trace, she tells Fox News that she plans to move her business somewhere else. Back to you.
Claudia Cowan live for us in San Francisco. Claudia, thank you.
For more on all this, let's bring in Zach Friend. He's the former spokesperson for the Obama for America 2008 campaign and a Joe Biden surrogate. How do you think Nancy Pelosi's handled this?
Well, I think that in a lot of respects, it's a he said, she said. It's kind of unfortunate, though. I mean, I don't think this is the most. I don't think Nancy Pelosi's hair, Sandra, is the most pressing issue in America right now.
She said. Which part? We've got video of her not wearing a mask inside a salon.
Yes. Yes, no, I understand that. But the fact that the state regulations in San Francisco say that you can have indoor salons with conditions right now. So when she contacted the salon, she was told that it was one person at a time. That was backed up by the stylist, and so she followed that. With that said, though, do I think she's owed an apology? I don't think she's owed an apology. I think that realistically, it's just not the most important issue that's facing America right now with unemployment and a number of other issues. I just don't think Nancy Pelosi's hair is really the topic du jour.
You will have to show me where that is, because I read every word of the ordinance, and nowhere in there did I see that. In fact, it was just a couple of days ago, the day after she was in that salon, where they changed to be able to operate outdoors, but outdoors only. And then the no mask policy. All of this just gets to people. I'll read a tweet from our own Brett Hume. He says that this incident is minor in the larger scheme of things, but it's politically dangerous because it's something everyone can understand. And the hypocrisy of it is so flamingly obvious. Don't you really wonder and worry about the political implications of this double standard? Mask up, wear your mask, and then she just very plainly walked through a salon with people around her when it very clearly stipulates, you apparently say you read the code as well, that you must wear a mask in a public place, even when no one's present.
No, I agree with that, Sandra. I mean, I think unequivocally we have to keep masks on indoors. I think California's state guidelines are very clear on that. And I think San Francisco County and city guidelines are very clear on that. And I think that is something that should be acknowledged by the speaker, that a mask should have been worn indoors. What I'm saying is that the state has been modifying guidelines on a pretty regular basis. And last Friday, the governor had a press conference outlining new guidelines for salons, which included this ability for indoor operations with conditions across the state. There's no question there's a lot of confusion county by county. But again, I just don't think that the haircut really is the biggest issue facing America.
And I think that's the problem. She should know the rules. And here I was able to ask Kayleigh McEnany from the White House earlier about this, and here was her response.
Yeah, that the elitism of Nancy Pelosi, the out-of-touch remarks of Nancy Pelosi tell you all you need to know about Speaker Pelosi. She's demanding an apology from this salon owner, a single mom who's started a business. No, she owes an apology to the American people. She's so breathtakingly out of touch, and that video and her response to that video exposes that.
And Zach, I appreciate your acknowledgement that you do believe, she should have been wearing a mask. But it's not that easy. I mean, there's livelihoods at stake. People are losing their businesses. Obviously, other people have been playing by the rules. They wish they could go into the salon too, I'm sure. But she's living by different rules, and she didn't own up to it. In fact, she pointed fingers at the salon owner and accused her of a setup.
Well, again, there's two things here, though. And I mean, did the press secretary, by the way, comment on the RNC having 1,500 unmasked people outside of the White House the other day hugging, kissing, and shaking hands for the RNC convention? I mean, realistically, Sandra, we know that this issue is much broader than this one individual situation. But I agree with you, and I agree with Britt's comment. The comment by Mr. Hume, that this could have some political issues. I mean, obviously, we're talking about it right now. I just also think, though, that it just isn't the most important issue. I don't think that we should be focusing this much time on television talking about this when we should be talking about coronavirus and a number of the other issues impacting Americans.
I think people hear you, and I think that they see her defense of it rather than acknowledgement of something she did wrong, a mistake, something. They see excuses, and I don't know if the story goes away then. So she had a press conference scheduled. She canceled that. I'm sure she's going to have to take a lot more questions, although she said she didn't want to yesterday. She said that is it. We appreciate you coming on and talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
All right, Trace.
Well,